Hello, gorgeous beings. Welcome to your practice today. Today's practice is all about celebrating the element of water, enjoying fluid flowing movements, creating wave-like motions with the body, helping to dissolve tension and move it through the body. You won't need any props today, but the invitation is to practice as though moving through water. So slow, smooth, lubricated movements with the quality of soft strength that water has, while also just allowing yourself to be taken with the current, to go with the flow. I hope you enjoy. I'll see you on the mat. Okay, welcome, beautiful ones. Let's start in child's pose today. So we'll come knees hip width distance apart, settle the hips back towards the heels and drape the torso over the legs, reaching our arms forward, resting down toward the mat. And as we arrive, we just settle like a beautiful little pebble or stone on the ocean floor, listening to the waves of our breath flowing in and flowing out. We'll start to create wave-like movements with the body, lubricating the body with our movement. So on your next inhale, rising up, rolling through the spine, through cat pose. Keep moving forward, shifting the weight over the hands, allowing the pelvis to drop forward and down and draw the chest forward. And as you exhale, press back, round through the spine, through cat pose, and slide the hips back towards the heels, back to child's pose. We'll do this a few more times, just repeating exactly that. Rippling through the body, as though we're moving through water. The movements are smooth and lubricated and slow but fluid. And the next time you find yourself in that soft back bend, that soft upward facing dog, let's exhale, press back to all fours, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here just to find movement that feels intuitively good for you. So it might be bicycling through the legs, a rock or a sway side to side, like the swells of the ocean with the hips or the shoulders, the circle of the head, like a little whirlpool, one way and then the other way. And then on your next inhale, float your right leg up into the space behind you, and then exhale. Step the right foot through between the hands. Come into a lunge, and we'll just pulse through the legs here. So inhaling, front knee bends, back knee lowers to the mat. Exhaling, lift the back knee and start to straighten into the front leg as you bow forward over the leg. We'll do that twice more, following the waves of your breath. We'll inhale, bend the front knee, back leg strong, and exhale, anchor the hands. Sweep the right leg up and back into the ocean of space behind you. Allow the right hip to roll up over the left hip, and then just inviting a little bit of creativity here. Tasting the space with your right leg and right foot, however you like, or maybe circling the right knee here. And if that feels a lot for the arms and the shoulders today, then you might lower the left knee onto the mat and enjoy the movement of the right leg with the left knee on the mat instead. Another moment, another breath. And on the next inhale, reach the right leg up and back. And then we'll exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands, warrior two. Pivot the left heel in and down onto the mat and allow the arms to float wide. And as you arrive in your warrior two, it's almost as though the arms are just floating on the surface of the water. And then let's dance through space. Inhale, reach the right arm up and back. Left arm just falls down the back leg. Exhale, side angle variation. Right forearm to thigh, left arm reaching overhead. Twice more. Arms swirling through the space above you. Back to warrior two. Settle here. And then hands to prayer. Let's pivot on the feet. Turn the toes out. Sit the hips down into a wide squat. So water is soft and strong. So you might invite a little movement here. But there's a strength in the legs. There's nothing like a raging river, is there? Maybe a little pulse. And now let's start to shift the weight over to the right leg. Straighten the left leg. Flex the left toes up off the mat. Left arm towards right foot. And right arm reaches up and back. So there's a little rinse or a wringing out of the upper body. And then we'll switch sides. And back again. Side to side. And the next time you find yourself over towards the left knee bent, right arm reaching down. Let's bring the hands to the mat and swirl towards the top. Pivot on the feet. Find yourself back and runner's lunge. Take an in breath. And exhale, anchor the hands. Step to downward dog. Your choice, stay in down dog with the pelvis floating and the spine waterfalling down towards the arms, or inhale, roll through the body like a wave towards plank pose. Exhale, knees to mat, hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Inhale, rising to all fours, rock forward, hips melt forward and down, soft up dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's go straight to second side. Left leg rises up behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, left foot steps through between the hands. And then 3 cycles, moving with the breath. Back knee lowers as you breathe in. Back knee lifts and front leg towards straight as you breathe out and pour forward over the front leg. 2 more. Right, find your rhythm too, following the waves of your breath, the tides of your breath. Flowing in, flowing out. And then we'll bend the left knee, take an in breath, back leg strong and straight. And exhale, hands anchor to sweep the left leg up and back. And exploring the ocean of space with the left leg, the left foot, the left toes, in whatever way that feels delicious and pleasurable for you. Water element associated with creativity and with pleasure. So finding fullness and juiciness, enjoying here. And next inhale, left leg reaches up, and we'll exhale, step forward for warrior two on the second side. Right heel pivots down and in onto the mat. Arms float, reaching wide. And then we dance through space, soft and strong. Left arm reaching up and back. And into side angle variation. Left forearm to thigh, right arm reaching. It's almost as though there are no boundaries. We don't know where the pose begins or ends. It's all dissolving into one movement. And then back into warrior two. Exhale, hands to heart. Pivot on your feet again. Bend the knees. Sit the hips down. A little pose. Kind of like kelp or seaweed. Swaying with the swell of the ocean. And then the movement might become a little bigger. Deeper bend in the left knee. Straight in the right leg. Right arm towards left foot. Left arm reaching up and back. And then switch side to side. And you can play and draw outside the lines if you like, yeah? So there's nothing too rigid or linear or sort of in this vibe of a compliant way of life, just circling and flowing through. And the next time our right knee bends and our left arm reaches towards the right foot, let's keep going, swirling towards the top of the mat. Hands either side of front foot, anchor the hands, step to plank pose, take an in breath. And then choose your flow, vinyasa or downward dog with me. Rolling, rippling through the body to plank. Knees to mat, hips to heels, child's pose. Rolling up through all fours to a soft up dog. And back to downward facing dog. Taking in breath in down dog. And then we'll exhale, knees to the mat. Let's shift the feet to one side, sit the hips back, and we'll come and lay down on our backs. Knees bent, soles of feet on the mat, heels in a little closer towards the sit bones, and the feet can be hip width or wider. Arms alongside the body. And let's keep waving through the body, or this wave-like movement through the body with the breath. Taking an inhale here. Belly and pelvic floor receiving the breath as it pours in. And on the exhale, rock the pelvis back, lift the tail, lift the hips, lifting sequentially the spine up off the mat as you lift the arms up and back too. Breathing in here at the top. And as we exhale, rolling back down, placing the spine down, lowering the arms, moving through water. Inhale at the bottom, belly rises, pelvis can gently rock forward a little. And exhale, rolling back, up again. Breathing in at the top. Breathing out to lower. Breathing in at the bottom. Feeling the swell of the in-breath before you exhale, lift up. Inhaling at the top. Exhaling. Playing with a couple more on your own. One more full round wherever you are. One more full cycle, one more wave. And the next time you arrive at the bottom, take a full breath in. And then we'll exhale, heel toe the feet in toward one another, soles of feet meet, knees separating into reclined Baddha Konasana, and perhaps the hands, if that's comfortable for you, resting on the hip points, the pelvis, or the reservoir of the belly. A moment of stillness, but just noticing the movement in the stillness. And the stillness in the movement. And if this is delicious for you, you might stay here. Or coming with me, we'll take a gentle twist, hands to the outer thighs, draw the knees towards one another. And now we'll separate the feet out as wide as your mat and reach the arms up as though the arms are streaming up like riverbeds overhead, and then we'll just swish the knees side to side. Sometimes this is called a windshield wipe. But we'll just let the knees pour from side to side, moving through water. And the next time the knees are pouring over towards the right, let's stay there and just take a couple of breaths. You might wiggle the left foot, the back foot, just a little bit further back towards the left as you lengthen the tail towards the back of the left knee. Take another inhale, breath washing in and down the front of the left hip and thigh. And on the exhale, lift the knees and let the knees swing over to the other side. And just as you might have done on the last side, you might wriggle your right foot, the back foot, a little bit further back towards the right, past the right edge of the mat, just increasing the sense of length through the front of the right hip and thigh. Lengthening the tail, the back of the pelvis down towards the back of the right knee. One more breath in, tide coming in, filling the body. And then as you breathe out, we'll release lift the knees back up, hug the knees into the chest, and let's open into a happy baby pose. Hands might hold the feet inside or outside, or ankles or calves or backs of legs, and feel free to paint outside the lines again here. So you might rock side to side. You might draw with the soles of the feet into the space above you. Bend and straighten alternate legs. And when it feels like enough, coming in to stillness. You might let the legs fall out long, like two rivers coming out of the bowl of the pelvis. The arms just falling alongside you or settling onto the body. And if it feels appropriate for you, you might imagine that you're laying down next to a stream. Settling into non-doing. Receiving the breath. And letting yourself go with the current. Being the flow. If you can stay a little longer, then you might stay a minute or two here. Thank you for sharing your practice, for celebrating the water element today. Peace, peace, peace.